Oh my gosh. What even happened last night? We had so many amazing bouts at UFC Vegas 107. What was supposed to be Blanchfield versus Barber. We had a lot of great fights, but what a tragic end. Oh my gosh. I was genuinely so excited for our main event. I mean, it was supposed to be a battle between number 4 and number 5 in the top women's flyweight. Two young, the future of the flyweight division, looking to cause some damage, settle the score, and fight for a spot at the top, right? Like, this could have been the fight to eliminate who's next for the title, a chance at the belt. But, not without 25% of the purse, because going into this, we did find out that Maycee had weighed in a little heavy, okay, zero point 0.5 pounds too heavy, but both women had that dog in him. So, I was ready to say, okay, and I was ready to see them showcase their grit, but oh no. We find out while they are airing the hype, probably like 2 minutes before, Aaron's sitting there, like doing the thing that, right, like before they walk you out, Maynard comes in, he says, he didn't say that to us, but to her, we got the news as they are showing the hype. Minutes away, it's canceled. We get word that Maycee is suffering from a medical issue, and she has been suffering from a lot of medical issues as of late. Apparently, it's not completely understood what is going on with her. Instinctually, I was very upset. I think right away I was kind of wanting to just say, oh, that's so unprofessional. And while it is, I think now, if anything, I am concerned. I am really concerned because Maycee is not someone who's scared. Okay? Whether or not she is a professional, whatever. Mind you, she's not someone to run from a fight. That's the point. The point is that Maycee is not someone to run from a fight. It really just, something seems so off and wrong, and I genuinely hope that she is okay. I've never even seen anything like that. Okay? I have never even seen a fight get canceled as they're walking. Really unfortunate, super anticlimactic, and even more anticlimactic than in UFC Seattle when Henry Cejudo got defeated via eye poke, and we didn't, that felt like after so many amazing fights, because we had a lot of amazing fights. So you know what? Let's give this card its much deserved review, go over everybody, because there was a lot of really good fights. There really were. And we started off really strong. Our first fight, Rayan dos Santos versus Alice Ardelean, women's strawweight. That was an absolute banger. Two women who were looking to get their first octagon win, and they brought that sense of urgency. Okay, you could feel it. Round one, pure boxing. It was absolute aggression. Right away, we get so many good sets of exchanges. Dos Santos periodically looking to clinch up, and we can see right away that we've got a power difference. Ardelean is looking like the bigger, like the stronger fighter, causing more damage with her strikes. Round two, we continue that boxing war. Oh, yes, we do. We are bleeding. We get blood. There's blood. You know what? How can we complain when the first fight gives us everything? We have violence. We have blood. We have urgency. Alice is smiling at the violence, okay? Smiling because she's definitely feeling herself causing the damage, taking some wear and tear herself, but she can see, her own art. And we get to round three. We're still dogging it out. Dos Santos can definitely feel that she needs to get that finish, and she comes out with some power shots. So we had a couple of waning moments in round two, but we're right back with the energy into another boxing war. At one point, Dos Santos had like a Joker blood painted smile, like her blood had smeared across her face. I mean, we were beaten, we were battered. Both women they were tired, but they were trying to lock it in. They were trying to lock it in all the way to the end. They absolutely laid it on the line. It was a crazy tone to set the night. So that was a really fabulous unanimous decision win for Ardelean. Alice, she is always smiling, and she says that she enjoys getting punched in the face. For sure. You have found where you belong, Alice. You belong here, right? So for people who didn't know what to expect with that fight, it spoke for itself. Then we had an interesting little switcheroo. Bolaji Okai going against Michael, the Texas kid, as well. So Michael coming in short notice, saving the fight. I still don't know what happened with Markel Medeiros, my birthday buddy, but I do know that he is going to be on the fights next week. So interesting. So we had a switcheroo. Apparently they got the call on Tuesday. Brought Michael in, and he's a Dana White's Contender Series boy, and they showed us the blood path, his blood path in the tapes, right? How he made a name for himself there. That was last summer, and now he's here, short notice. And DC and Laura reflect on how impressed they were by Aswell's performance in the Dana White's Contender Series, getting us a little bit hyped up, and I appreciated that. Gave us the tip to look out for his use of the fundamentals, you know, really mixing in the ones and twos, and then also to look out for some pressure. So I was looking for that. Bolaji, okay, with the dramatic pause on the walkout. Kind of frightening. Funny thing is he's totally not like it's such a front. Like I feel like every time you can see him like chatty, he's, yeah. So the whole stoic thing was kind of funny. I mean, he is a baddie. He's definitely a baddie in there, but that was funny. You know, Brendan he loves dramatics, so he can't help but say, kind of feels like a movie, DC. That's strike one, Brendan. That is strike one. You know, Brendan, he's on a short leash. Okay. Brendan's on a short leash. Bolaji is coming in with a big reach. So big reach advantage, big size advantage. And you can see right away as that fight starts, we have a very similar setup to our previous fight. We got two guys who are looking to box it out. Okay, so we had a bit of a boxing foundation fight before. And then I feel like the more critical aspect is we have one fighter who has a clear power differential. So yeah, it's very similar to our last fight. That first round is entirely boxing. I think we got like one kick, and you can see that Oki is really hunting. Bolaji Oki is hunting, head hunting. You know, he's looking for the finish in that first round. Okay, second round. Before we get there, though, DC, he can't help but plug, you know, he can't help but plug Good Guy, Bad Guy, which was formerly a much better show called DC and RC, but it's fine. And he says that there's going to be a special guest on Monday, a special guy. Someone with answers. I don't even want to say. I don't want to say because I don't want to curse. Everything's cursed. Everything's cursed. But who do you think that special guy with answers is? I think I know who I hope it is. Okay, whatever. So that was in between round one. Round two, we have a very similar, you know, again, boxing setup, power up on Oki, as well as tough though. Okay, he's surviving, and he's setting up some good combinations himself. You can see he's got a lot of boxing intelligence, the way that he is moving through the space, but there's a huge power differential. And by round three, because we make it there, Laura makes a really, really good point about when there is a power difference, the other fighter has to make up for it by doing more. You have to do more, because it's not going to look good if every time you get hit, you know, blood sprays, your head snaps back, or what, you know, just when the damage is visibly greater. You got to make up for that in some strikes. It was she put it a lot more eloquently than that, but it's a really great point, and that's exactly what Aswell needed to do. He's surviving at this point, but just kind of being walked down. Yep, it's love and it's hugs at the end, because we do make it to decision, and that was another really gritty, pretty much boxing-based fight entirely. I think there was like, what, 3 kicks? Pretty cool. Okay, probably more than that, but a boxing-based decision with strikes in the hundreds. So we get 2 fights back to back that are so active, so fiery. We get blood, we get damage, the kinds of decisions that you love to see. So unanimous decision win for Bolaji Okai, our Zulu warrior. In the post-fight, Bolaji admits that in round 1, he was trying to finish Aswell, okay? And you could definitely see that. You could see he was hunting for the finish, but you could also see that Bolaji had adjusted that mindset to account for the fact that he was fighting the guy who was tough as nails, that was not willing to go down. And that was really cool to see him make that adjustment and not be too overzealous, right? And looking for the finish, and was able to get a calculated decision, a really exciting decision. That was awesome. Then we move on to Kurt Holobaugh versus Jordan Leavitt. That fight I was so excited for because Kurt is an absolute veteran. Okay, he's a veteran, vetty. He's the most veteran of the card, actually. Okay, 31 professional fights. And Jordan, we haven't seen him in a while, and I think he has just such an exciting style and is such an interesting human being. Like he's one of those people that really fascinates you both in the octagon and outside of it. Jordan's hair looking crazy, crazy town. Okay, and I love that. I love a crazy hairdo. I think that's great. We had a mullet moment where we like couldn't get away for like 2 months, which is like mullet back to back, like mullet, mullet, mullet. And then we have that. Whatever that is. Love it. Really happy to see him back after an extended layoff. We missed him. Round 1, we are on the ground early, okay? And that is some dangerous shiz. Both men are extremely sticky, okay? Holobaugh is back on the fence quickly, you know, he's get me out of here. And Jordan comes in with that slammy-ammy. With that slammy-ammy do. If you don't know Jordan, he kind of likes to slam, okay? So he's got a slammy-ammy, and you can see, uh-oh, right after that massive suplex, boom, you know, ouch, owie, that hurt. You can see he's got the choke, okay? He's choking him. He's twisting. Kurt is an absolute warrior. Okay, he's doing everything he can. And he doesn't tap. No. Yeah, he goes right to sleep, which is so Kurt, okay? And the finish itself is so Jordan, okay? Anaconda choke, round 1. It happened in a flash. It was such a scramble. I mean, we were approximately 2 minutes in. Jordan is such a quirky little quirkster. And what a quirky win. I mean, we love a slammy-ammy. Okay, we love a slammy-ammy to a chokey. That was so cool. It was a beautiful sequence. It really was. And it's just so funny. He's just such an interesting guy. On the mic, he says, a year and a half ago, I was a bum. I do not agree. Okay, but that's fine. It's great. It's great to always evolve. He says he was a bum. Glad he's back. No more twerking, though. I know some of you are kind of a hater for the twerking, and that's fine. I would say I think it's cool, but I do like the worm, and it was impromptu. DC put him on the spot. I mean, what is this? DC's like, so what are you gonna do instead? Jordan's like, I got a lot of dance moves. And he did the worm. And he did the worm really well. I don't know if you guys understand, but doing the worm is not easy. Can you? I think I can do the worm, but I'm not gonna show you. Maybe one day. Subscribe and I'll do the worm. That was quite the finish. That was so much fun. And it's just so exciting to see Jordan Leavitt back in the octagon. We really missed him. Glad he's not a bum. Great fight. And of course, because we've got some time to spare, I mean, what is a night at the Apex without some terrible drawings from DC? I mean, what does that mean? Even as he's saying what he's saying, and I can understand when I'm just listening to him, but I'm like, why is that the way you're drawing what you're saying? It's fine. So, and at this point, it is fine. At this point, I really love it because I do think that there is a lot of valuable insight that DC provides because he is an expert and he has a lot of great insight, especially when it comes to the wrestling, to the grappling, but of course in general. I mean, he's extremely accomplished. But I more so enjoy it because it's so chaotic. The drawings themselves, yes. It's fun to learn and to laugh. So we get both. Then we make our way to a men's flyweight matchup, Filelo versus Nascimento. So both men coming in having never been knocked out, so a lot of durability, but both of them are really subby. So haven't been knocked out, but they don't really look for the knockouts so much themselves. They are both maximum subbists. So this was pretty much the subbiest of them all. I mean, we had a pretty subby fight right beforehand, but anyway, two dudes who that's their wheelhouse. And we haven't seen Alan in a really long time. Like Jordan, he's been gone for forever, it feels like. Cancellations 101, and he actually came in heavy, so I hope he's doing okay. Congrats to Jafel on his new baby. Okay, daddy-o. New daddy. And Brendan gave us the skinny. Okay, thank you, Brendan. Brendan has been doing his homework. Okay, so instead of being on a short leash with 3 strikes, he's on a long leash with 4 strikes. He gave us the skinny that Jafel is actually a pastor. Okay, it's not just his nickname. He holds that Bible close to his chest and he's preaching. Okay, round 1, Alan is keeping it really kicky and trying to keep it rangy. He's definitely the bigger, or he's the longer fighter, but Jafel closes the distance very quickly, pushes him up against the fence. And Filelo is being really tough and very sassy with those underhooks. You know, he's not giving it up. He's not giving the underhooks up, pushing Allen to the ground, gets the mount. Okay, he's got the rear naked choke on his mind. That's where he feels at home, right? Is in that rear naked choke. But that's a really tough feat against Nascimento. Again, both of these guys are really sticky, so they're not going to be an easy sub. Okay, so it wasn't. And Jaffel lands a few strikes, full mount, but then we pop back up for a feet in the moment, and then, well, we're back to the mat. Okay, so we pop back up, right back down to the mat. Jaffel has got Allen trapped in a body triangle, and he's just looking so sticky. He's looking so sticky in there. It's looking like the danger zone, but there's not much time left. Not much time left, and Jaffel goes for the gilly, right? But Allen is a pro. He stays calm, and he survives that first round. So that was a very, very sticky round. It was a really exciting round because there was a lot of moments that were very dangerous, right? Where the submission could appear itself and the fight could have been over. But both guys just kind of a pro at being sticky. You get 2 outfits for this video. Aren't you so thankful? So we make it to round 2. Let's let her back on. Jaffel is confident, okay? Really confident. He's so confident. He runs right into that takedown attempt. Oh, okay. Gets Allen down without much resistance, okay? Gets Allen down without a lot of resistance, but Allen is grabbing the fence big time. Big time. His hand is like, he's clutching. He's clutching onto the fence. It doesn't matter. He still gets dumped on his head. Okay, well, not on his head. He gets dumped down on the mat, but then we get some problems, okay? So Filelo is a little too confident, and he attempts to get the submission, but he's way too high. He's way too high on Allen's back, a little overzealous, and we switch positions, right? He falls off, as you do when you're trying to get a choke on someone's back and you're way too high up. They just, they shake you off. So we got shook off, and then Allen is on top. And we have 3 minutes to go in round 2, and now Allen is controlling from the side, which is where he feels at home. Tables have turned. Tables have turned. The shoe is on the other foot. The shoe is on the other table, of which has turned. Let me know if you know where that is from. Okay. Yes. So Allen is looking for that head and arm triangle at that point, but it breaks. Still pushing, though, with a lot of that shoulder presser. So, definitely winning. And it's looking like a pretty clear 1-1 at the end of that round, right? So via control. Both men have had a round almost entirely in their side for control. And then we get to round 3, and Filelo is starting the same. Okay, same mistake, actually, right? Jumps for the back and slips off again. And Allen is on top. Makes the same mistake again. Allen is all control. Eventually, we pop back up for a moment, but oof, we're right back down again. And Allen has Jaffel in a body triangle. So really, again, have switched the tables here, and he manages to pepper in a few punches. But overall, this fight ends with pretty little damage. Little damage, but a lot of really exciting control moments. Both these guys, super, super sticky. It was pretty hard to imagine either of them getting submitted since they have such defensive skill in that area. And so it didn't happen. We got a decision, a unanimous decision for Allen Nascimento, 29-28. I would say very much so. I think somebody scored it 30-27, but I think 29-28 makes a lot of sense. It was a really cool fight, though. That was really great. A lot of really interesting grappling exchanges and a lot of dangerous moments. And that leads us to our main card. Such an exciting and evolving sport MMA is. The UFC is always evolving, and the women's flyweight division is always evolving and exciting as well. And our main event was supposed to be, right, 2 women really looking to cause some damage. Like I said, settle the score, fight for that top spot. So, and that fight's not getting rebooked, okay? Because, even if there was a seizure, I don't think it's fair to ask Erin to put her confidence in Maycee again. So don't want to rush to too many judgments on Maycee because I don't know the severity of this health issue. Not medically cleared. That is what happened. Okay. I genuinely just hope she's okay. So we didn't get to our main event, but we had a lot of really good fights on this main card as well. We started it off with Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic. These are 2 very interesting fellas. They're both going through a little bit of change right now. Dusko has switched up his camp, switched the types of people he's training with. Zachary has quit cigarettes, so he's feeling a little cranky. He's a little bitchy. He's a little cranky. He admitted to that in the press conference, okay? So congrats to Zach on quitting cigarettes, and congrats to Dusko for opening his own gym. Those are both some really good accomplishments, actually. So we love to see that. We love to see everybody leveling their lives up. And this fight started off with a scramble-damble-do. It was scramble-damble-doing, and we are rolling, but we pop back up pretty quickly. And Dusko is controlling the neck, rolling. You know, we're against the fence. We make it back up. It's, 2 minutes to go, and Reese gets his head free finally. So Dusko really looking for the takedown and really looking to get in that bully position on the ground, on the top, okay? But Reese is managing to get a few elbows in himself when he's on the bottom, okay? But Dusko slugging it a bit too in the final seconds with a little ground and pound. It was a really frantic round. It was a round that was like, the bodies were... Okay, that's... Now I'm DC. Round 2, Reese gets a big right, but Dusko takes it. Like, you can tell it gave him a little... But he took it, okay? Clearly, Zach is hunting for the finish. You can see that his eyes are locked in on Dusko's head, specifically. That's what he's looking for. And he needs to kind of avoid over-swinging, though. That's why you can see that is the internal battle, right? Dusko's looking to grind, looking to get things back up against the fence. And there's a little bit of slow trading, okay? We both men have kind of exerted a lot of power in that moment, looking a little sleepy, but Reese is still getting kicky. Okay, he's getting kicky, but Dusko grabs the leg, and we're on the ground with a minute to go. But we scramble back up. Okay, good on him. So Reese was able to scramble a little bit more and be active enough, and he was not really controlled completely in that round 2. So could have won that one back. Round 3, you're feeling like this is a relatively close fight in general. Both guys looking tired for sure. Dusko still hunting for that takedown. That's what he wants, but everything's just a little sleepish, not exactly working perfectly, right? It's hard to get a takedown when you're gassed out. Everybody's hands are falling down. Down. Okay. And Dusko splits Reese towards the end of the final minute, but Reese is definitely ahead in the strikes and was just doing a little bit more. Dusko was, falling a little bit behind on the activity. So after losing that first round, 29-28 unanimous decision for Zach Reese. Yes, and he makes a note in his post-fight interview that he feels like he should have wrestled harder in the first round. He said he could hear Sean in his head. He could hear Sean Strickland screaming at him to get up. That's a nightmare if you ask me. I don't want Sean Strickland in my head. I don't. Who would I want? Who would I want in my head? Brandon Moreno. Yeah, because I feel like it would be a positive type of frantic. Yeah. Or Juliana Pena, actually. I want Pena in my head. Because she'll shit talk me, but it'll set me right. Anyway, woo, go Texas. Congratulations, Zach Reese, on a unanimous decision win. Then we have a fight that was supposed to be in the women's bantamweight, but we had another weight miss. So we had to bump it up. Bumped it up to featherweight. Kind of an interesting choice, so I guess it was quite the weight miss. And at that point, when Maycee, so Ketlin missed weight, and when Maycee had gotten the text, the phone call, the update that that's how things were going to go, she was apparently at 137 pounds, so she had about 2 pounds to cut away. So they said, bump it up. And so she got back, but okay, weird. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. I don't like that because I really wanted to see number 3 and number 5. Like, I wanted the rankings to be a part of the discussion. It's okay. So yeah, the fight. At this point, going into this fight, regardless of if we're featherweight or bantamweight, Maycee was really looking to make a statement. She really wanted to get a win, and a statement win at that, because that would be, a good conversation for a chance at the belt next. It didn't go that way. Round one, Ketlin, you can tell, is looking to land big. She is a very patient striker with very, very heavy hands. So you can see her, she has a pretty closed stance, not, and she's not waltzing around. Maycee kind of like the opposite in a sense, being as long as she can and using her angles, looking to keep it moving and find her moment that way, rather than to just stand and bang, which I don't think you would want to do with Ketlin. She is very powerful, and she gets a couple rips to the bodies. She's a counter type girl, so every time that Maycee was trying to kind of spring in there, on the angle, Ketlin she has the eyes for it, and she can really time her counters effectively. And she got a couple of good counters in there, and I really like to see that because she does it in a way where she's not chasing. Ketlin can really stay where she's at and limit the movement that she does, so she feels like a really effective counter striker, not a chasing counter striker. And she lands a handful of really good shots in round one, and Maycee is backed up against the fence, decently close, but Maycee definitely has to find more moments. So she didn't get steamrolled in that round, but it didn't look like it was her round. Round two, Maycee Chiasson takes her shot with the takedown, but Ketlin is very quickly on top. Okay, it was pretty cool to see her mixing in the wrestling. I love that. I love to see it. But Ketlin was weighing Maycee down. And Maycee was trying to scramble to get back up. You can hear her corner yelling for her to do the same. Get up, get up. That's the one thing about the Apex, right? You can always hear that. So you can hear her corner screaming, please get up. But she can't seem to make it happen because Ketlin is being a very effective wet blanket. So between rounds, we get a little use of the ref cam. They have these zoom. I have one too. It's my ref cam. There's a camera in here. You just don't know. So we get a use of our ref cam because Ketlin had a little bit of issue with her gloves in between rounds. Round three, almost immediately Ketlin is on top again, and Maycee is trying to get away, trying to cause some damage from the ground, but it's not super successful. Ketlin is really good at controlling and keeping Maycee from causing any damage. She's controlling big, working the ground and pound. Yes, back and forth between pure top control and ground and pound. A minute 30 to go, we pop back up, pop back down for a little bit, or fall back down, pop back up again with about 30 seconds, and Maycee, you can see she really wants this, and she is trying her best to pour it on, letting out a war cry. She's trying to pour it on, but there's just not that much time to pour. Fight comes to a close, and we get a unanimous decision win for Ketlin Vieira, bouncing back from her Kayla Harrison loss in full beast mode. 29-28 or 30-27. That was a pretty good one, but unfortunately, it's not really the shake-up outcome. I think that if Maycee were to have won with a staple, that would have put her in contention for a chance at the belt next. But, depending on what happens next weekend, Ketlin might be next. If Kayla wins, probably not, because she has faced her very recently and did not come out on top of that decision. But if Pena wins, then before we get to our next fight, we get a little in between and we get some hype for Usman versus Buckley, which will be happening very shortly. So which fight on that main card are you most looking forward to? It's pretty hard for me not to be most excited about Usman versus Buckley, the main event, because Usman's grand return, and Joaquin Buckley is one of my favorite rising stars, one of the, most exciting prospects that we have right now. So there's a lot of really big implications in that fight. But I'm also excited to see Miranda Maverick have a chance to push at the top 10 against the much esteemed Rose Namajunas. And how can we not get excited for a great veteran matchup between Cody Garbrandt and Raoni Barcelos? I mean, there's a lot of really good fights. I think those are the three that I'm most excited about right now. Let me know. Okay, that's our little intermission. Next fight, a light heavyweight matchup between Dustin Jacobe and Bruno Lopez. Brendan gets another strike for referring to Dustin as the ageless wonder. Okay, Brendan. I don't think people want to be called ageless wonder. It's fine. All right. Lopez is coming in for his second UFC appearance with a lot of steam, a lot of momentum, but one loss. And Justin Jacobe is coming in as the older guy, someone who has been set up to be a stepping stone twice in a row now, okay? Round one, feeling things out, both guys, just trying to suss each other out, and then seemingly out of nowhere, Jacobe hurts Lopez with a jab, okay? He rocks him with a jab, but, okay, Bruno gets back up, but Jacobe chases him down. He chases him down, and we're swinging against the fence. Back and forth, left and right, up and down, okay? Everything that's landing is hurting Lopez, and you can see that. Laura makes a note of that as well. You can visibly see that it's taking the life out of him, and then all systems shut down. Eventually, strikes, boom, boom, and then we get the all systems shut down strike. Wow, holy smokes for our ageless wonder. Dustin Jacobe, round one, TKO finish in a flash. In an absolute flash. Dustin Jacobe is the prospect killer. He is on back-to-back knockouts now, and as he says, I am no stepping stone. Hell yeah. And he's looking to golf. As we noted in the breakdown, he loves golfing competitively even. So golfing is what he'll be doing now. Anyway, we get another in-between intermission moment, except it's full of technical difficulties. Okay, they try to give us a little Harrison Pena hype, and the audio isn't working, and Brendan's like, sorry for the technical difficulties. 1 second, please. Okay. Let me know who you've got for that fight. We'll talk a little bit more about that, obviously, in our video breaking it down, so I won't spoil what I think, but I think it's going to be fierce. Anyway, then we get to another fight that was a switcheroo. Billy Ray Gooff against Ramiz Brahimaj, welterweight switcheroo. Okay, so Ramiz was supposed to be fighting Oban Elliott. Okay, so they were both supposed to fight different people previously on the card, and then they got matched up together. Glad it worked out. Okay. Round one, Billy Ray gets taken down very quick, and Ramiz is on his back trying to get the neck, and we pop back up. We're up against the fence on the ground, and then we pop back up. We stand still against the fence, but now Ramiz is facing Billy Ray. Nice on Billy Ray for being able to pop up, because he's definitely got to be defensive there, because Ramiz is definitely a subster. Okay, so it's a battle against the fence, and Ramiz gets real nasty with it. Okay, he goes for the choke. That's his wheelhouse. He switches grips a couple times. He's like, I really don't know anything about grappling, so a lot of times when I watch that, it's kind of just like, what? But yeah, he's switching it up. He's switcheroo, okay? And then he gets Billy's neck tight. He gets Billy's neck tight, and Billy goes to sleep hard, okay? Just like Kurt, Billy Ray went to sleep. Okay. And Ramiz is so emotional. He jumps up on the cage. He's hanging over. He doesn't jump over, but he's hanging over. And he's looking at DC. He says, I love you, DC. For real. It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. All of Ramiz's pro wins have been via finish. Okay? So the official result in round one is via guillotine choke. That was amazing craziness. He says that he was going to hang the gloves up. Okay, because he had an injury that was so severe. He had many injuries, actually. Brain, ear, neck. Thanks, Brendan, for giving us the skinny. And he was going to give it up. Okay, but he's really glad, and I'm really glad, that he decided to believe in himself. And he said a really great quote that I think is really powerful. When you better yourself, you never regret it. Amen. Then we make it to our co-main event. Mateusz Gamrot, number 7, going against Ludovic Klein, unranked, okay? But that's the thing, is Gamrot was done waiting. He was asking, just give me anybody. Come on, like, I'm trying to get in there. As he says, I'm a sportsman. I'm a sportsman, I'm a sportsman, I'm a sportsman. Let me fight. Okay, and fight we did. Round 1, a little bit back and forth in the strikes. Gamrot ate a big one, but he quickly, he's gamey Gamrot, so yeah. He's got Klein against the fence quickly, and it's the suffocation commences. Staying on his back, getting some knees in too. It's all Gamrot control. Klein was not looking sharp in that round. He's getting dragged. The end of the round, he's trying to stand up, and every time he does, Gamrot just pulling him back. It was looking like different levels of competition. And in round 2, Gamrot is all ground control again, smothering from the top. He freaking loves it there. He is chest to chest, top pressure. We're on the feet, but only for the final 30 seconds. So absolute control. Gamrot is just smothering. Smothering. And with this 30% smaller octagon, he's got a lot more suffocation potential. And he really took advantage of it. Yes, so Klein trying to create space, but it's just not happening. Gamrot is also still getting it done on the feet. Like when we do get to the feet, it's like he's not being outstruck there either. He's just looking like the more complete fighter, finding his moments. You can see Ludovic Klein's power, but Gamrot still controlling, and he goes for the takedown, does a little headstand on his way, okay? We have Gamrot bullying on the ground, peppering a little bit of punches in that round 3. So it was 3 rounds of pretty much the same story of Ludovic just getting tossed around by Gamrot, and when they were on the feet, Ludovic was trying to look for that high kick, that signature high kick. It just wasn't happening. Result, unanimous decision, Gamrot defending that number 7 spot. Let's go. He says he wants everybody. He wants everybody, and he wants 5 rounds. Give him everybody all at once for 5 rounds. Everybody all at once, 5 rounds. Potentially main event Paris, potentially Patty. He's a sportsman. Give him anybody. Really happy for Matus because he finally gets to go home. He's been away from home for a while, away from his wife, away from his kids, and he gets to come back with a big win for some family time. Love that. And that's it. Our co-main event is it because, as mentioned, the main event was canceled. Started with a missed weight on Maycee Barber's end, and she has been dealing with a lot of mysterious illnesses, but shockingly, they announced it just minutes before it was supposed to happen. I mean, they were rolling out the hype. They were about to walk out. Aaron was all, ready to go. Yeah, word has it there could be a seizure involved. Whatever it is clearly something very, very serious. And it's very, very unfortunate. Valentina Shevchenko was in the building. She was in the building. She was excited to see her future competition. And yeah, I feel most for Aaron, who has gone through a whole training camp, was ready for those 5 rounds, and we get a cancellation. So result for the main event, cancellation. Right. That's great. Okay. Cool. So that's the story. That's the scoop. Wow. Really unfortunate end, but we had a lot of really awesome moments in between them. What was your favorite moment? I think that's tough. I think it's tied between me, Jordan Leavitt, and Ramiz Brahimaj because it was just so ecstatic. It was emotional, and those were 2 really big, cool staple wins. A lot of really good fights. Let me know what was your favorite moment. Yes. And let me know anything else. Here is the song of the night, okay? Most fitting to the last fight being canceled, though. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all. Peace out.